on, we do know what this guy is wanted for. Apparently, they wanted in a shooting earlier this afternoon. That car with one suspect in it right now, wanted for a shooting, an ADW shooting. That means that it was an assault with a deadly weapon. Shots were fired from this vehicle earlier this afternoon. LAPD got behind him. This car was moving so fast on the freeway that LAPD lost the vehicle momentarily. The helicopter picked it back up, and that's what we picked it up as well. Through the downtown area, tried to make its way through an area, through a parking garage. We thought it was over. Then the guy basically gets back in the car, decides, I'm going to keep going. And we've been watching it ever since. Very, very dangerous moves out here this afternoon. We're going to move Sky 9 around a little bit. We're going to be working southbound on the 110 freeway. He's in the carpool lane. That's that high overpass area. And you can see how fast this car is going. A Mercedes-Benz, a bigger Mercedes-Benz, a newer Mercedes-Benz. A lot of power in that car for sure. And of course, you get some performance, but you know performance is only limited to the guy behind the wheel. And this person probably not a professional. Finally, we get some clearance from Sky 9 would allow us into the LAX area, so we're going to be catching up to it. We have to apologize for that distance. LAX was holding us basically back. Oh, we're still in downtown Los Angeles, but we've got a clear shot of it as he's winding his way through the traffic out there, pulling off. You saw that, cutting that guy off, getting back off on gauge. We're working our way back up to it. We move pretty quick. We're going to get there very quickly, but you can see one of the LAPD units finally getting behind it out there, and I don't mean that in any kind of cut. This car moving so fast, so recklessly this afternoon. Officers having a hard time trying to catch up with him. Right now, though, working his way through a deep puddle right there. LAPD's helicopter, they're overhead. We're going to catch up to it. Very dangerous pursuit this afternoon in the Los Angeles area for sure. To the west, to the west, to the west, to the west, to the west. Jason, go to the west. Jason, go to the west, to the west, to the west. Jason, go to the west. Whoa! Whoa! Look at these speeds. And gunfire from the vehicle. Well, he's got not a lot of traffic, but he's still driving very recklessly out here. You know, the word knucklehead really comes to mind. I hate to use words like that, but look at this guy going against traffic, running red lights, officers from LAPD right behind it. He is on gauge. He is westbound on gauge. Again, we're dealing with LAX, trying to work around him. You know, they have to keep safety in mind, as long as so do we up here in Sky 9. There is no doubt about that, but sometimes these calls start to get so tedious. We're working our way now, getting back into the game as it would be. LAPD still right behind this vehicle. If you can imagine it, this seems to be tame driving from what we saw earlier on. Sharp turn right there. There you go, passing Western, and you know what? That's what I'm talking about on that vehicle. Newer Mercedes. You know, I don't want to make a commercial for Mercedes, but good car, very high tech, and a lot of performance. And right now, this is probably keeping some of these other people safe out here this afternoon, as this lunatic is driving out here trying to keep LAPD at bay, and he's kind of doing a good job. But while he's doing that, he's endangering so many other lives. Working against traffic. Here's another one against traffic. Looks like we're making a southbound turn. I'll get you that street right there. Then you can see this car. I would guess that's an E-Class coupe right there. Very, very fast car indeed. LAPD, but you know what? The helicopter's overhead. We are just praying that it does not. Whoa! Whoa! That's what we were worried about. And look at that. Solid collision. There's a whoa! Causing another collision right there. People trying to get away, seeing this accident, that car coming to a stop right now. But you know, with that type of damage, that type of attitude, this guy better just do exactly as he's told. Officers from LAPD, they got their guns out. We got to worry about those poor people that were in that accident. We're on Van Ness in the South Los Angeles area. Crazy crash out here. And that second crash, that basically was somebody probably watching what was going on. Hands out the window, but you know what, buddy? It is too late. That car, he's stopped. He's going into custody for sure. I'm hoping nobody else was hurt. Officers have their weapons out for sure. We're going to keep an eye on this all the way to the end. As soon as that guy is out of that vehicle, I need to move that camera, see if those other people are hurt. Those were some violent crashes out there this afternoon. Still being very defiant. Well, we can see this suspect right there doing as he was told. Was very defiant out there in the beginning when the officers first got that car pulled over. You know, let's be very clear about this. He did not stop. That car gave up the ghost. After those violent collisions, that car finally coming to a stop out here. Now he's laying down in the road. He's going into custody. You know, ADW, that's a very dangerous suspect. And you know what? This person doing some extremely dangerous things out here. You can take a look. You can see officers from LAPD. They've still got their weapons out, and of course, you know, you've got that vehicle. They've still got some guns on that as well. They just got to be sure that there's nobody else inside that car. Right now, though, that car is still going to be very, very, very solid vehicle. But right now, one suspect in custody. And, you know, taking a look off of here, a number of officers still have not taken this guy into custody. You know, all that's going to come up later on. I have to go and show you this. I know that guy is not in custody. Officers from LAPD doing what they can right now to get an innocent person out of this flipped over car. They're actually working their way, trying to bust out that windshield. You know what? These are officers from LAPD. They are not firefighters, but you know what? It says it right on the door, to serve and protect. And right now they're trying to save this person, an injured person inside this vehicle right here, a civilian, when that car flipped over. This is just one of probably 4, maybe more vehicles that we saw involved in this crash this afternoon. There's another car right there. You've got people on the side of the road, and of course that one is still on its side as they're working to get somebody out of that vehicle. That officer now resorting to the old-fashioned, let's kick in that windshield, trying to get that door open, trying to get those people out. That suspect probably going into custody shortly. Nope. They're going to make sure that car is clear. There they go. They're going to put the cuffs on him. You know, that's the shot that everybody wants to see, that knucklehead with the cuffs on him. Right now, though, very dangerous, very bizarre pursuit, and for sure we probably never saw one of those happen live, especially. Right now, though, that car, they're still clearing it. That suspect being cuffed. Other officers waiting for ambulance and other medics to show up out here as they're working to get somebody out of that car that's laying on its side out here on Van Ness in the South Los Angeles area. Look at that. Look at that. You know, the power of blue. They're trying to move it. You know, we don't know exactly what's going on down there. Maybe perhaps that person's pinned and they need to move that vehicle to get that person out. You know, it is just a shame when you see an innocent person just going about their business out here in the city when their car gets clobbered like that. There they go. There's that person. There's probably the driver. And it looks like, just by their attitude, that's the only person inside that vehicle. Got him out through the windshield. You know, it must be some scary moments for sure for that person. Now out, our boys in blue out there doing what they can to, you know, help the public after this crazy pursuit crash. There's another one of the vehicles out there. You know, when it happened, you know, it just happened so quickly. I counted like 4 collisions while this car was barreling around. There's the other ones. They're right there. Those persons just trying to get out of the way when that accident happened. And of course, the actual suspect's vehicle now being searched. That suspect in custody this afternoon. You know, these guys out here, LAPD, making it happen, trying to keep people safe the best they can. You know, very dangerous suspect out here, shooting suspect as we understand it, now in custody. Well, you know, when we first got overhead, it was already, they had lost it at one point. The helicopter, you know, excellent tool for LAPD, had picked it up in the downtown Los Angeles area, making its way so fast on the streets, having a little issue trying to find it, but when we did, it really stood out. That car was moving well faster than any of the other vehicles out there, probably 80, 90 miles an hour on city streets this afternoon, and it worked its way, weaved around, cut people off, wrong side of the road, finally getting onto the 110 freeway, worked its way through traffic, weaved across so many lanes, cutting people off, got off on Gage, and that's when it really started getting nutty. He was on those city streets out here, working his way through these areas, very, very packed streets for indeed. When he got onto Van Ness, he made that turn, and that's when all the collisions started. He actually plowed into 2 vehicles, one of them there you see on the side, LAPD later on having to bust out that window to get the driver out of that car. While that was going on, that suspect actually continued on, created another accident you see right there. Finally, the car giving up before the driver even thought about it. Even then, that driver being a little bit, let's just say, confrontational with the officers, you know, saying his last piece before going into custody. Now, though, it's all kind of come to an end. That suspect in custody, that car, his car, destroyed. But, you know, we've actually have injured civilians out here this afternoon on Van Ness. Very sad state indeed. Yes, I do. Sorry. Woof. Man. Go ahead. Go ahead, Insama. Ha ha! Ha! Well, you can cross the flipped over one just off the list altogether. Hang on right here. I think we can get this one. Hang on. All right, it's a Saturn. I can tell you that. I don't know what year it is. It's an older Saturn. It's going to be 7 Charlie Zebra Echo 828. That's 7 Charlie Zebra Echo 828. That one, I don't know if we can get any closer. We might make an effort to get the front, but that's that. The suspect vehicle has paper plates. Let me see if that's a damaged vehicle. All right, I got a Toyota Avalon. It's going to be a disabled plate. It's going to be a disabled plate. I know we had issues with this in the past. I don't know if it's DP, but it's a disabled plate. It's going to be X or X-ray 1059. X-ray 1059. That's a disabled plate, so it might be prefixed with Delta Papa. Do we really, shall we really try to get the other car that maybe the front plate off of it, or stay with them working on the innocent victim? Jason, they want the front of this car. Is that possible? All right. All right, let me see. Can we make a quick stop? Because I got to read a plate. Seven Golf Tango November 228. 7 Golf Tango November 228. 7 Golf Tango November 228. It's a Nissan. Well, I don't know what that is. Nissan Econobox. You can play back.